Oh, so welcome back, and we're back for another little update. So what have I been doing? So I've been up to some bits on this side of the layout, trying to finish some of the smaller details underneath the town scene where the station is this side, because if I don't do them, time I put everything on top, it'll be buried and I'll never find it. So I'm trying to do some of the logical stuff we do in model railways. Logical.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Do we ever do that? I don't know. Anyway, so I don't anyway. So what's to come in this update? So I've done some work to the depot area behind the camera there. So on that side, behind the camera, I've actually done some work to the depot. Some little finishing touches that needed been doing. I've done some more work to the control panel on this side to me. So I've completely done a whole new control panel, so we'll have a look at that. I have also done a little bit more on the industrial area just behind there, and the little industrial area in the middle there. So I've done that as well, and that's a scenic break to take your eye from this side to that side of the station. I've done a little romance section on the station this side to do with the underground, and I will reveal all as we get to that. For all you guys on the underground, keep your eyes posted on the little the bit on the station I do. Some other work I've done, little projects I've done again in this video. I've added some little lights underneath the train, some sparks, so I've added that, and I'll tell you more about that in detail. And I've also added some sound MP3 sound devices around the layout. Now the reason being that as soon as the train goes over a certain trigger switch, it sets the sound off and it does a station announcement, and I've added that around certain parts of the layout as well. So we'll have a look at all that, all in this video. So let's get down and have a look. Obviously with the railings, they were protruding too far up. They were literally another about 6 mil hanging up in the air. So I've actually sunk them down. The other thing I've just added a few more of these little pillars in the road there, these little like slabs, concrete if you want to add them, because obviously there would have been more of a walk through, sort of like from one side to the other. So from the shutters you can see here that I've got in place, this is the one I used, embossed plastic, Slater's plastic card, all that kind of thing, and basically done a little line and then just used a warning panel in rail match. I obviously sprayed this in a grey primer, and then just added some rail match yellow and then some black just to create the yellow and the black stripes that you can see. Obviously I've only gone so far because I've only showed a little bit of it and they're not going to move anyway, so I know I've made them move up and down in the past, but these will just be static, just a static display, because they'll pretty much be left open all the time anyway. Again with the concrete, you can see I've just toned some mud tones, just sort of blend it in a little bit more. It was a little bit rough, so I've added more sand texture and more sort of mud tones into the concrete here to sort of blend it all in, and happy with the results so far, so that's all good. So this is the new control panel, just in some new acrylic, and then I've cut all these stencils on the Cricut machine, just on a sheet of vinyl, bought some cheap vinyl. Again, this took 30 seconds to pretty much cut out on the Cricut machine, one pass, cut them all out. You use a system called weeding, which you basically put some sellotape over your graphics, pull the backing bits out, leaving the fine lines, and very gently have a weeding tool. In my case, I have like a scalpel with a point on it, and I hold each point down and you just gently manipulate the lines, and as you pull them off, everything stays in its shape and its form. And that's a nice little touch. It's just a piece of plastic, cut some holes in it, countersunk all the LEDs, glued them on with a PVA glue so that the LEDs don't pop out, but I can take them out if I need to. That creates a little recess around the bulbs, so it gives them a nice sealed fitting, and then I just wire them up. You can see I just literally wire them up. I haven't wired all of them up because obviously these are momentary switches, if that's the right word. I've put 6-pole switch, a double pole, double throw switch in. I would like to wire them up without a mimic board, but you'd need a latching relay switch to actually do it, and I'd have to do it on each one, as far as I know. Unless somebody knows different, then let me know. But I know you can get a PPI mimic board, and that will give you your LEDs. That may only be the only route I can do by turning these on. This one's separate because this is my reverse loop, so there's a red light, don't go through there because it's closed. And when I turn it off, the light will go off and it doesn't go through there. That's the train that's actually going to go through round. You can hear it going round. It's actually going to go round past the reverse loop. So if I switch that, it will do a little reverse and come back round the other way, will come back the other way. So yeah, all is working well, all is good. Still trying to work some figures out, or trying to work the lights out on this, but at the moment I've come to a pause. I'm happy with it at the moment, but I would like to get the route markers all in, and I wish I could do it on the switches, but I'm not too sure how you do that, because I've got double pole, double throw switches, and I thought I could take a feed from the other side of the switch to light the LEDs, because normally you do it on I've got seat points, but the points I've only got the throw for the point, not the middle parts, which is the E and F, I think they are, for the colour of the LEDs. I don't have that option on my seat point motors. They're the basic cheapy ones. Probably a rookie mistake, but anyway, never mind. So yeah, that would have been the easiest way. You could run 2 wires and it would give me the direction of the track. So I know the dynamics, I know what should or could, but that's not what I've got, and I'm probably trying to work a workaround from here. So any ideas, drop me a note, be interested to know. So this is the little yard, the works yard I've created. Not too sure what this area is really supposed to be doing, but it's under sort of creation of what I'm doing. Tony Northeastern gave me these little sewage pipe bits as a sort of a gift, and I wanted to use them up, so thanks Tony. But I thought it'd be nice to create a little scene down here. Obviously the bridge comes through. To create the scene, basically, I'm not too sure with these. Not sure they're going to stay. I made these on the old layout. My plan is to do like an electrics, more of an electric sort of little substation, something like that in this area. Do away with these tanks and that, because they would have no purpose here. The plan originally was to have a coal run, and then the coal would have fallen through from the wagons down to here, and that's really the area that I've tried to use that's been taken away and now reutilised for some other purpose. This building here was what I built basically at Baker Street. There is a building like this that holds a lot of air fans and electrics, a lot of underground comms, that kind of thing. Basically created the same thing. It's not a proper building, it's building with electrics inside. It's one of the many underground sort of hidden structures that looks like a building that's got lots of infrastructure in. That would look quite nice, having a little shed of some sort over this, just a little coming over this way, and then use this ground as a scrapyard sort of thing. And that will give me something to tinker with going forward when I finally find some pictures of what I'm looking for. I just haven't seen. Other people might see them, but I've just not seen what I want. So this is the bit in the middle, this is the filler bit. As you can see, we've got a little bit of grass over there. These are just done with foam boards, the grass areas there, and obviously the grass section along there. It's all just foam boards covered in grass. I think a lot of you know how to do that, you'll do it a lot better than I will, so I didn't actually film any of that. I need to add some railing along the back there. You can see there'll be some like fence railing goes across the back there. I'm moving the camera so you're going to get a bit creaking. Yeah, that looks okay. Happy with that so far. And then added the white lines, all the little bits of fence, just to create that off-scene look. Underneath there, you can just catch glimpse underneath the bridge there. You can see a bit of track, and that is obviously the return loop round for the returner loop. That does the auto turnaround. So I need to see that, because if I'm not seeing that, I won't know when the train goes through the auto reverse loop, which is hidden underneath there. And I have a little access panel behind the bus there, which I will show you. So the idea being that I can get in here, clean the track, so I get in there and I can reach 3 different tracks. There's the underground track down that side, the reverse loop here, and then you've got the other loop that comes through around there. So I can clean and access all those little tracks. So this will just be a little, for the moment, just a little cover to go in there. I don't think it'll be much more than that, just to hide in there, and the bus will go in front of it. So it's aesthetics, if that's the word, just to make it look like it's a purpose, but actually it's just there to cover up a blemish of my infrastructure. So that's the idea of it. And as I say, you've got the other bit, which would be where the coach is there, which I said. So that works well. It will have to be like that, and that was the reason why I went for this sort of like waste ground as opposed to buildings. Would have looked nice with a couple of shops on there, some little flats or something like that, but there's not a lot of room, and perspectively it would have looked out of place, so I didn't want to really just make it squeezed in, much as London's like that. So it's just a little service road, goes from A to B, and then it looks like the road comes underneath, so it has to have that purpose of travelling from one side to the other. So it's just a filler area, but all in all, sandpaper on the floor, gravel on the where the cars are, and probably they'll turn out to be a little car for sale there, and probably the staff car parking for the area underneath there for the service yard. So looking over at the station bit that I'm doing over here, based on Paddington, there is a building nearer the end of the station where you go round. This is obviously not Paddington Station, but it is to give that kind of vibe, to create the illusion that there's an underground, because here you've got the underground there, and then you can go down the steps and go to the underground. It was the steps that I originally made, the 3D printed steps. The underground is all in place underneath here, but I don't want you to see it unless you look for it. And the only way I could do that was to create this building with absolutely no floors inside it, so it's absolutely empty. And it's the idea is that you look through there and you get the romance of the underground, so you can sense something is actually happening underneath the layout without actually on show. So you'll see the underground underneath lit up, and you'll see the train come through, and you will hear the train noises, and you will hear the station announcements. And I shall focus you in a little bit if I can catch this. You can see the station, Baker Street. I'm going to be quiet now. So that's all running on an MP3, reed switches, and the lights on the train. And what I do is I'll lift off building there so you can see inside it. Little two. There you can see the train, and then I shall put these lights on, give you a little bit more light. There you go. I'm not going to go too bright for a minute because I want you to catch up the lights of the station. You can see Baker Street, and then you should see a spark as the train goes. It will do a station announcement as it drives off, but I will do a latching relay to only do it one-sided. There we go, see? So there we go. I'll do one more as it comes back with the station building removed. And the train's coming back now. Should see a spark. Here we go. Runs all on its own. Nice little system. And that's Baker Street. Baker Street's installed. So let's put that back on there. So this is the post depot. Okay, so this is my little MP3 gadget board. I don't know what it's actually called. It's just an MP3 soundboard that has some little trigger switches under here. So these are the trigger switches. Now this one here is the main input. So this will come from your switch, and that, so on one side of the switch you'll need that feed on a like chalkboard to come to here. So that will be, so you'd have a chalkboard with like 6 or 7 feeds, and take that one of them round to here. That's one side of your switch. The other side of any of the switches will come to here individually. Okay, that's what makes the connection. You'll have a plus and these are the minus. And when it triggers on any of these, like the switch closes, your sound file will trigger its sound. I've got speaker output there. That's the speaker. Comes around to here. You do have a little jack system, so you can run a little jack system in there. And then you've got your power, which is just here. The power I'm actually running off a 4.5 volt battery, which is more than enough for this little system. It's been working quite well for me. Just turn it off after you've used it. So I'll put another switch, so when I'm not using it I'll turn it off. Otherwise the little amplifier will drain the battery because it is preamped. Got a little volume button there, and that adjusts all your volume. quite a sweet little box really for what it does, and I've got one installed down there. That's the one I've got in. So if I actually show you this one working, so a little magnet sets off the reed switch, triggers all the gadgetry, and therefore the speaker then does the sound. Again, won't trigger this side, but when it goes around that way, it triggers, so you can see it trigger straight away. And as that one comes up, it's going to go into the station. I'll give you a wide field. There we go, so that's that one. And then if I run a different train, okay, so I've just turned the train around on the loop underneath, and if I bring it down slowly, you'll find it, that same train won't trigger. So it doesn't trigger it. So if I stick it on the other track, I'm purely demonstrating, so I normally run that straight through. So bring that train into platform 1. Then if I run that out of platform 1, that same train, and run it round to the station at the back there, you'll get a different announcement. So there we go, and that one's got an announcement as well. Bit of a heavy crash, but there we go. Another feature that I've had to add is the controllers, and basically because of this I now have the controllers straight for the trains and like the locos, and I have another controller just for the passenger service. Now I need to do this to sort of break up the way I run the trains, because having this is a lot easier now, and then this one I would use as my freight service, that kind of thing. But I can actually be more hands-on the way I operate the trains. I could do loco movements, and then I can control passenger movement. This really helps quite a lot actually, just to have the controller labelled up. I'm lucky enough to have 4 controllers, so I can know where I'm going and what I'm doing. So another way to sort of really bring it all together when I'm sort of having an operation, playing the trains or moving the trains around. That certainly helps to keep it all in order. So I did mention that I've added some sparking effects to the train. Now this is basically a little reed switch underneath the train. Again, there's a little reed switch. See the little light there, just dangle it down so it doesn't catch the wheels. As soon as I put the building near it, you can see the light flashes. So just on a little reed switch is in there, and I've sort of painted it so it looks like part of the compressor things. Again, you wouldn't see that on a train. It's easy to take out. I've not ruined the train. It's just a speaker hole that I've run the wires through, and I've very carefully bent the LED so it hangs down into, like, reflecting into the rail as it goes round. And it's just, that is only literally a 3-volt bulb on a 3-volt battery basically. What I've done is put some little magnets inside this building. You can see there's like a little box on the front there, and in the back of it there's 3 more magnets, so sort of pull the power in a bit more. I don't have to have it that close, I can have it that far, and again that just creates, you can see the light going on, it'll create that spark, and that's the LED on the train.
So a busy little video, we must agree. Lots of little projects and lots of little content, sort of just to make the video a bit more fun to sort of follow through. I've been busy obviously with lots of little projects, and obviously got to the end of the video. I have been struggling, obviously I'm just getting over the gremlins of colds. I've had this for the last 4 weeks whilst doing this video. I must be allergic to videos. I think that is the answer. So I've literally been struggling, and it's taken nearly a month to actually do this video because my voice is gone. I've been sneezing. It's just been a nightmare. Even just trying to do some of the modelling, trying to make stuff, it's just, your mind's just not in it if you're not well. So that is probably the reason why even this video has taken me so long to get out. So if you've cast your mind back, this is over a month due already, let alone any other videos I've done. So we've got there, we've finally done it. Lots of little projects, really happy the way the layout has turned out. I always feel this layout is far too big for me. It's actually bigger than anything I ever wanted. I've never had a really big layout to this level. So for me, and it's not a big layout, it's 8 foot this side, and obviously sort of like 6 foot in the middle and 5 foot over there. So for me it feels huge, but and every time I come into this room I think this layout is huge. You know, what am I ever going to do if I have to move or anything like this? So but it is designed to cut down in 3 pieces. Time and testament will be the time when that comes, if I have to move. What it is, obviously I rent this place, and you're always on a knife edge. So I didn't want to fill the whole room with the layout. It had to be enough, but not too much, and I think that's where this layout sits. So people do say it's a compromise. Some people say you could do more. I think you have to find that balance, and that's where the layout really does sit. Happy, as I say, happy with everything's gone. Lots more stuff to do, and it will follow. I am struggling with my voice, but I will carry on. I've got a couple of new additions. Obviously a ball, some more motor luggage vans. Again, I got this. I had a few points to use up, but I've got 4 of these. I don't know why I've got 4 of these, but I've got 4 of these. This one came with a sound chip in it as well. So if I bought the sound chip alone, it'd be the cost of this loco. So I took the sound chip out and I stuck it in my set, and because they're technically the same thing. I know you'll say no, Gary, but technically they're the same thing. They're electric vehicles that have a compressor that run the engine. Anyway, so I've got that. Take the sound chip out of this. This is a nice little model. It's actually really quite blown away with this. It's got nice soft lighting in it. So I will use this around. It's going to be my little restoration thing, maybe, I don't know, but I actually quite like running that around. So I've got that. I've got my Acura scale, obviously my class 37. I did buy it originally without the sound chip, and a few people actually said to me, why didn't you buy the sound chip at the time? And at the time I'm not one of these people that I'm not the best with information on new equipment. I have to sort of look into it, buy it, look and see how it works. Sometimes I don't always get so many new products on the market, and trying to keep updated with new sound chips, new decoders. It's not to actually go into these things and buy them and start using them. You realise what they actually give to you. And I am that kind of person. I like to buy things and have a little look at it and see what my opinion is, and how it works for me. I don't know everything, and I do like to plug and play. I like to have a little play. The Acura Scale 37, at the time when I actually bought it, it was about a year ago now, I actually mentioned in the video that it had a sugar cube, start again, it had a sugar cube speaker in, and a lot of people said to me that it didn't come with a sugar cube speaker, that they didn't exist, but I've only recently now, because obviously I put the sound chip in that I bought and added it to it, that it has got the sugar cube speaker, so you can still have a little bit of plug and play in this particular breed. This is the second breed, so I don't know if there's different breeds of locos, but this was the second batch. So anyway, that aside, I'm not going into all that, but it's got a Sugar Cube speaker in, straight from the Outback, and literally plug and play, sound chip straight in. I had a lot of fun. I ordered the Aqua Thrash. Aqua Thrash is amazing. I've got the speaker in there as well, so the Aqua Thrash speaker as well, all the two together. Beautiful little sound. It's actually quite a little favourite of mine because I run it round for doing a lot of shunting, because I like just the ticking over and that. The only thing I haven't got is a sound chip for any of my shunters. I do need to get sound chips for shunters, so that's probably what I need to get next. Yeah, so I've got shunters, but not, the 08s, but none of them have sound chips in, and I really need to get sound chips for them, because they're my favourite. That's what I need to do. So yeah, they're sort of the new things I've bought recently. I've also, I think I bought a couple of months back, I bought Class 60, and it was only a Hornby one, and I've literally weathered it to, I thought it was close to hand, but it's not. I'm actually weathered it with more rust and on the exhaust pipes. Even that alone, just if you rust up the exhaust pipes on them kind of things, really makes a model look really good. A lot of people have written to me and said to me that I should or must almost cover all my locos in black soot and dust and diesel dirt and all the rest of it. Now, yes, in some sense, but no in others. You have to remember, and I think a lot of these comments come from probably people that don't run a model railway, or people that don't really have a careability about the models they run. I actually like new looking models, if I'm honest with you. I actually like to see them in their new fresh state, because it reminds me of the today, where we see old trains in the new today that have been restored. But I also like to see some of the memories from early days when I was a kid, where there is the dirt and the grime, and I get that comment, but and I totally understand it. But when you look at the price of some of these trains now, we're not talking cheap chips. It's not pocket money anymore. They are very expensive, and I've got nearly 70, well, more than 70 trains. I'll leave it there. So I've got more than 70 trains. So we know what they cost. They cost an absolute fortune. If I actually don't use them and I want to sell them, once I've weathered them, they're actually really devalued. So I do like to keep some of them in their original state. A lot of them are second hand, but they're pristine. So there is that element. Write in a comment saying you must cover your trains in dust and dirt, and it doesn't look prototypical. And the word prototypical doesn't really work on a model railway. I have used it many times before, but at the end of the day, it's up to the modeller to do what they want to do. So, I appreciate them comments, but I'm not going to cover every train in diesel and dust. I have done it on some, and I do it. I have certain trains I do it on, and you might see one that's completely clean. But that's just me, because I actually do like the nice clean looking ones as well. And I think it is personal credence to the modeller. So that's really what it's said and done. There's a few more comments on, a few more people saying about the underground. Well, I've answered that question. The underground does exist. A lot of people keep asking, are we going to see any more? So hopefully this video has provided that answer for the underground. And another question that people do ask about, am I going to certain exhibitions? I try and go to exhibitions. Obviously, I live down south, so heading anything up north is pretty much a no-no. And there is a lot of exhibitions up north, so sadly it's going to be down south. Now, there is a degree of where you go and how far you go. Traipsing all the way to Kent and all the way down to sort of Cornwall. They're optional, but just for the sake of going down to look at layouts. And sometimes there's not always the layouts that I want to see. I am a diesel era. I do like steam, but there has to be certain layouts that really capture me. So, and I do look to see what layouts are running. So, it really has to be what's on offer at the exhibition on that time. I will be at some of the exhibitions coming up, so keep your eyes open. If you find me, come and say hi. Always welcome to say hi or for a chat. So and I appreciate that. So that said and done, I hope that answers a few of those questions and comments. I am going to go because my voice is actually really killing me. So I'm going to say look after yourselves, and hopefully I'll catch you all very soon. Till next time, cheerio.